What's up everybody, welcome to the video. And today's workout we have a back day. If you're really looking for a wide back, then definitely watch this video because it will really help you. I like to start off my back days with pull-ups because pull-ups are one of the best back exercises because it recruits the whole entire muscle and pumps a lot of blood into it before the workout even starts. Now some of you may not even be able to do some pull-ups, but that's okay. What I would recommend to start doing would be a lot of push-ups and a lot of negative pull-ups. Basically, a negative pull-up is where you roll onto the bar and lower yourself as slowly as you could. So to start off the back day, I do 3 sets of pull-ups to failure. And when I do pull-ups, I make sure to use the last 3 fingers, my pinky, my ring, and my middle finger, because that puts the most pressure on your lats. And if you want a wide back, you need to have really wide lats. With pull-ups, you want to make sure you go all the way down, you lock your arms out, and you come up, squeezing your back as tight as possible, and if you could, bring your chin over the bar. When doing pull-ups, I don't want to see any kicking of your feet, so don't use momentum to bring you up, but you could very slightly on the last reps. So here I have my dad recording me, and you can see how I make sure I lean back slightly. When you lean back, you feel the activation of the muscle a whole lot better, and it'll warm you up perfectly for the workout. So now I've started the workout, and I begin with deadlifts. My camera began to cut off for some reason, so I did a warm-up set of 135 for 10, and right here I was doing 225 for 8, and then all of a sudden my camera just cut off on me. After that 225 set, I threw on a quarter, and I did another 8, and you can see right here, this is my last set of 135, and I just do it to failure. The reason why my camera cut off on me is because I use a GoPro, and I connect it to my phone, and I control it from my phone. So something in my pocket must have touched the button and cut off the camera. But deadlifts, what you want to do is you want to keep your shoulders above the bar and you want to keep your back as straight as possible, lifting up your legs. So right after the deadlifts, I go into the seated cable rows. I start off with a warm-up set of about 10, and what I'm doing is I'm grabbing the V-bar on the lower portion of it with my last 3 fingers like I would for pull-ups, and I pretend I'm pointing a gun. All your hands are doing are acting as hooks. You don't want to be squeezing the bar to death, because that'll activate your bicep a whole lot more and take the emphasis off your back. So now I'm starting my working sets. I jump the weight up to about 150 from 100 for the warm-up, and I do 3 sets of 8 to 10. What you want to do is increase the weight every set because that will increase your strength the most. And when I'm pulling the cable to me, I'm trying to pull it to the bottom portion of my belly button. You'll really feel the activation of your lats here, and you want to squeeze as hard as you could on every rep. Every rep here has to count if you want the maximum muscle growth. So now I'm jumping into a superset. All I have here is a pretty light kettlebell, and I'm going to be doing kettlebell rows. What you really want to focus on is keeping your back straight, your left arm straight, which is stabilizing you, and bringing the kettlebell almost to your pocket. You usually see people doing this exercise with 120 pounds, and they can't even handle it, and all they're doing is wasting energy. You want to make sure every rep counts, and every rep is performed correctly. Now I'm working on my other side, and you can see here how I use my last 3 fingers to bring the kettlebell up, which really isolates that lat. When doing this exercise, you want to keep your head up because that'll put your back in a better angle and help you execute the exercise way better. So now I'm on my 3rd and final set for the cable rows, and I bump the weight up to 180. And when you push back with your legs to begin the exercise, you want to make sure you lean back with your lower back to get a stretch on the entire back muscle. When doing the exercise, you want to keep your back straight, and you want to let the weight pull you forward slightly, and use your lower back to sit yourself back up, and use your lats to pull the weight and squeeze your back as hard as possible. You don't want to use your arms to pull the weight. And we're also going to superset this with the kettlebell rows, making sure you're using your last 3 fingers just as hooks and you're pulling up with your entire lat. So right after that, we go straight into a lat pull-down. This lat pull-down machine is probably the best thing to use if you're struggling with pull-ups, and it's also awesome for building the widest back you could get. Here's my first warm-up set, and what I'm doing here is I'm also focusing on squeezing with my last 3 fingers and pulling the weight down using my back, not my arms. So here's my first working set. I jumped the weight up to about 150 pounds, and with this machine, you see how I lean forward slightly. I let the weight pull me up a little bit to get a full stretch. Then I lean back and pull down with my sides. You can see how I'm squeezing my back as hard as possible, and that's what gives you the best muscle hypertrophy, which is muscle growth. And right there, the metal was digging into my hand, so I just sat up, readjusted my grip, and finished my set. I superset this with T-bar rows, and T-bar rows are one of the best exercises to building a really thick back. With this exercise, I just use one 45-pound plate and focus on the contraction as much as I possibly could. You could also do this exercise with a barbell. All you have to do is put the barbell in the corner of a wall, wrap a V-bar underneath the barbell, put yourself in the same bent over position, and pull up the weight just like I am here. Now this is my last set of lat pull-downs. I bumped the weight up to 180, and I'm really focusing on letting the weight go up very slowly. I'm trying to keep constant tension on the muscle as much as possible. And for muscle growth, the weight that you are pulling is secondary to how much you contract your muscle. And here goes my last set of T-bar rows. You can see how I grab the angled grip. I'm using my back to pull up the weight, and I'm keeping my head up while putting all the weight on my last 3 fingers. By now you should have the biggest pump in your back, but we're not finished yet. The next exercise that we're doing is squatting cable rows. This is really awesome for bringing as much blood into your back as possible. And all you want to do is grab a V-bar, clip it on to the cable, slide the mechanism all the way down, and do pretty much the same thing that you would do for a regular seated cable row. This is one of the best exercises you could use for getting the best contraction you could in your back. I don't do any warm-up sets for the squatted cable rows, and once I'm finished with those, I jump right into the straight arm lat pushdowns. For this exercise, you want to grab a straight bar, clip it onto the machine, and bring the mechanism all the way up to the top. You want to grip the bar with your palms facing the ground, keep your arms straight the whole time, and use your lat muscles to pull the bar down to your hips. This exercise really isolates your lat muscles, and the better contraction that you put upon the muscle, the better it's going to respond. You want to keep your back straight and lean over slightly to get the full range of motion. After those straight arm lat pushdowns, give yourself about a 30-second break, 45 seconds tops, and then jump right back into those squatted cable rows. This time, increase the weight and do 8 to 10 reps, really squeezing as hard as you could. You can see just how much I'm squeezing with my back. And believe me, when you add this exercise to your routine, you're going to see a world of difference on how you train your back. Here goes my next set of the straight arm pushdowns. And with this exercise, I'm focusing on not using my hands to grip the bar hard. All I'm doing is using them as a wall to push the bar straight down to my hips. I also increased the weight for this exercise also, because for the last set, we're going to up the weight one more time and perform a drop set. Here goes my last set. I put the weight all the way up to the maximum because you can go pretty heavy with this exercise. Perform your 8 to 10 reps here, really emphasizing the squeeze on your back, trying to build that mind-muscle connection. And if you have a mirror, you want to make sure you look at yourself in the mirror at the muscle you want to work out. If you don't, a good idea is to close your eyes because that'll eliminate one of the senses, which will help you feel the muscle in your back that much better. And when performing this exercise, you want to make sure you squat down or sit down as far as possible. Right here, I'm cutting the weight in half, doing a drop set. And with this drop set, you want to do as many reps as you could to failure, trying to pump as much blood into the muscle as you possibly could. Once you finish that drop set, you want to jump right into the straight arm pushdowns, increase the weight a little bit, and do as many as you could. This exercise is a great burnout, and you can see I'm starting to get a little bit tired here. My back is rounding a little bit, so once I notice that, I stop it. You don't want to do any improper reps because that can cause injury. and you're not going to activate the muscle in the proper way. So now I'm cutting the weight in half, doing a drop set to failure. So this is the last superset, the last 2 exercises that we're going to do for this back workout. And what we have here is a hammer strength machine for rows. And all I have is 1 plate on each arm, squeezing as much as possible at the back. Again, using my last 3 fingers as hooks to pull the weight back. Try not to recruit any other muscle in my arm. I do 3 sets of 8 to 10 reps, but I use quality reps for these. Once I finish those hammer strength rows, I superset it with single arm, bent over, barbell rows. For this exercise, all you have to do is put a barbell into the corner of a wall, load up a 25-pound plate like I did here, and again, using your last 3 fingers, bring the bar straight up to your pocket almost. You're going to feel a really tight contraction here, and to help, take the hand that's not on the bar and put it on the lat of the arm that's working. This will help build mind-muscle connection and make your workout even more intense. My next set of the hammer strength machine rows, and what I did here is I put another plate on, but I'm gripping the grip a little bit higher. That's really going to help me pull it down to my pocket, it feels like, which gives you a better squeeze on your lat. And again, right after that, you want to superset it with the bent over rows, but here I put another 10-pound plate on. I'm trying to put on more muscle and build more strength in the process. And here's my last set of those hammer strength rows. I put a quarter on and grip the grip again as high as possible. With this exercise, I like to stand up, it feels like. I bring the seat pretty high and I put a lot of weight on my toes instead of sitting down. After all the other exercises that we did before this last superset, you're guaranteed to be exhausted. Once your form starts to become sloppy, you want to stop. And here goes the last set of the bent over rows. Again, you're really going to focus on bringing the barbell to your pocket so you get the best contraction on that lat. And that's it. That's going to conclude today's back workout. So make sure you like this video, subscribe, and share it. If you have any requests on videos that you'd like to see, my email is in the description box. So send me an email and I'll definitely make a video on it. And also make sure to follow my Instagram. That's in the description also. And stay tuned. I have a lot more videos coming soon.